Good day everyone, I am Christine J. Pescola and today we will discuss about Bagubo tribe's history, culture, arts, customs, beliefs, and traditions. Bagubo. The origin of the term Bagubo is uncertain. Come from the word bago meaning new or recent and obo or uvu meaning person. The name originally applied to the coastal peoples of Davao Gulf, especially the indigenous groups of the western shores of southeastern Davao. The Bagubo are considered the most colorful people of the Philippines, heavily embroidering their abaca clothing with beads and stitch work. They also produce fine metal craft, working in brass, bronze, and iron, and are known for their betel boxes. So there are three subgroups of Bagubo, the Tagabawa, Jangan or Klata, and Ubo. First, we will discuss about the Tagabawa. Tagabawa means people of the south, from Bawa, which may actually mean either south or north. The Tagabawa's traditional habitat is the site of present-day Davao City and the slopes of Mount Apu. The Jangan or the Klata, Jangan means forest, and the Jangan are called with the various names by neighboring groups. The Matigsalog called them Klata, meaning to go through, because the Matigsalog have to go through Jangan territory to go to Davao to barter. The Klata is located at Davao City, Davao del Sur province, and the eastern slopes of Mount Apo. However, the Ubo Bagubo. The Ubo Manuvo call themselves Manuvo, meaning people. However, so as not to be confused with the Manubo groups that are scattered in various places in Mindanao, the Manuvo are more known as Obo Manobo and Obo Bagobo. The Obo Manovos is the contiguous area along southern Bukidnon, northeastern Cotabato, northwestern Davao, between Davao del Sur and North Cotabato provinces, and the northeast slope of Mount Apo. These Bagubo groups presently occupy Kalinan, Toril, and Baguio district in Davao City, some towns of Santa Cruz and Bansalan, as well as Digo City in Davao del Sur, and Makilala, Magpet, Tulunan, and Kidapawan in North Cotabato. Tudaya in Davao del Sur is their most important center. In 1996, the Davao City Health Office recorded their population in Davao City, Davao del Sur, and South Cotabato as 363,224. Comprising the three subgroups, there are 47,392 Jangan in Davao City, 102,266 Tagabawa in Davao City, and 60,037 in Davao del Sur, 100,018 Obo in Davao City, and 53,511 in South Cotabato. In 1988, the total population was 80,000. As of 2010, the Bagubo population numbered 484,467. The way of life of the Bagubo people. The Bagubo were the first ethnic group in Mindanao encountered by the Spaniards at the end of the 19th century. Brisk trade already existed among the various groups and tribes. Horses were used to transport goods to the coast. The Bagubo were excellent riders and showed their pride in these skills by adorning their horses with beads and bangles. Their main trade items were rice, armasiga or raisin, and beeswax, which they exchanged for lowland goods like salt, fish, clay pottery, and the lumbang fruit, which was their source of fuel. They bartered with the Muslims for iron, and with the Chinese for pots, beads, and other ornaments. The most valuable item of exchange was the agong, or the numb gong, which together with slaves, horses, cows, and abaca cloth, was given as bride price or as payment for the crime or transgression committed. The primary means of subsistence was within agriculture. Rice and corn were rotated on the sloping terrain. Other products were copra, coffee, cacao, fruits, and vegetables. The traditional economic system ensured that every household was self-sufficient, producing for itself not only rice, their staple food, but also cloth, farming, and domestic implements and weapons. The Bagobo Tribal Village. All three Bagobo groups have one term for their village. It is called Banod. A banod or settlement is bounded by bodies of water and natural formations such as rivers and ravines. Landmarks are natural protrusions like boulders, hills, peculiarly shaped rocks, and trees. The traditional Bagobo settlement consists of about 10 individual farmhouses scattered around a water source. Every house stands in the middle of the house owner's cultivated fields, making up a farmstead. Thus, the houses of one settlement are dispersed rather than concentrated, with clearings, meadows, forests, hills, individual trees, and undergrowth making up the vast area on which one settlement is located. Members of a banod can move as they wish, for they are not codependent on their community or their place of residence. While on a journey, a man might come upon a settlement and simply decide to stay there. Traditionally, a man moves into his wife's village, so if he finds someone to marry while on a journey, he would stay in his bride's village. So each banod was divided into three classes: the Magani, or the warrior class, the Mabalian, and the slaves. First, we tackle the Magani, or the warrior class. The Datu was the chief Magani, and he inherited his position. He held absolute power in the banod, which he supervised to maintain order and to deal with its problems. His main function was to be judge, arbiter, and defender of the tribe. The Magani who was killed at least 2 persons was allowed to wear blood-red clothes and a tangkulo or handkerchief and a small bag for betel nut and lime, which was considered a property of the spirits. Next is the Mabalian. The Mabalian were elderly women who were usually distinguished as skilled weavers. They had first been selected through a dream or vision from the benign spirit who revealed the secret of a new cure for an ailment. Then they were apprenticed to the Mabalian, from whom they learned, among other things, how to weave the clothes of the Magani. Like Magani, they wore special cloths that signified their position. Next is the slave. The slave class was composed of women and children taken during raids. Slave women sometimes became concubines of their masters, and their children were considered free because their father were freemen. Next, we will tackle about the religion of Bagobo. The largest religion of Bagobo is the ethnic religions, wherein Christian is 41%, and the evangelical is the 16%. The Bagobo are polytheistic. They have a wide pantheon of diwata or gods who reside in 9 heavens above the skies and to whom they allude in their songs and myth. Tigawama, the creator, is assisted by the lesser gods such as Mamali, or the creator of earth, Makoreret, creator of air, Dumakulen, creator of mountains, and Makapungnyos, creator of water. Mandarangan is the god of war, the chief of the war gods and patron of all who has taken at least one human life. He is believed to grant courage and success to those who offer sacrifices to him, especially in matters of war and trade. So the other gods are Manama, which is the dispenser of reward and punishment, and Tudlay, the patron of marriage, and to whom buyo and rice are offered. The god of the story is Pangumanon, who was defeated by the Obus culture hero, Tuwang. The Sibulan Bagubo believe that everyone has 8 souls called the Gimukod. When someone dies, 4 of the souls go to the Pakakalangit, or the heaven, Alash, sightless place where the gods Tudlay and Tugyama reside. The remaining 4 go to the Kurunarunawan, or the hell. There are other Bagobo settlements where it is believed that the Gimukod consists of only 2 parts, one on the right side of the body and the other on the left, and one of these goes to heaven and other goes to hell. Next is the Bagubo's languages. The Bagubo language can refer to either of the following Austronesian languages spoken in Mindanao, Philippines. The Gyangan language, also referred to as Bagobo, and Tagabawa language, also referred to as Bagobo. Next is the alphabets of Bagubo. Every subgroups of Bagobo has different alphabets. So here are the alphabets of Tagabawa, Klata, and Ubo Bagubo. Next, we tackle about the birth. Pregnant women look to a local midwife to determine the gender of their babies or to massage the baby into position if it is feared to be suhi or the breech birth. The husbands hang citrus branches around the house in the last trimester of their wives' pregnancy to protect them from aswang or the viscera suckers, believed to prey on pregnant women and the unborn children. When it comes to circumcision, is done through the pakang method. Here, the child sits on a banana log where a piece of wood is wedged to function as an anvil. Newly circumcised boys must not step over chicken manure or this will inhibit the healing process. Girls must not pick at the wounded penis or it will swell like a kamatis or tomato. So when it comes to the marriage of Bagubo tribe, the taliduma or the formal marriage ceremony consists of several rituals. In the morning is pied kagong, the bringing and playing of the agung, bought and furnished by the groom as part of the dowry in the home of the bride's parents. This is followed by pamalugo or the ritual washing or cleansing, during which the officiating priest or priestess prays for the health of the couple as they sit on 2 flat boulders called gunsad, which jut out of the shallow part of the nearby river. The ritual tiodkod kapahunga or the bracing the mountain is also conducted. 2 spears are pointed toward the mountain to prevent illness or disease from rolling down to affect the couple. After the tukod wapahunga, the couple throws their old, shabby garments into the water in a ritual called gantugan, revealing newly woven clothing underneath. The marriage is then solemnized through pasugpat kulo, the tying of locks of the newlyweds' hair to signal their union. Afterwards, there is balaba, or the drinking of sugarcane liquor, gindaya, singing, sumayo, dancing, and merrymaking in the home of the bride until the morning after the ceremony. At dawn, the agong is again beaten and is an exchange of gifts between husbands and wife in the ritual called palabulasi. The newlyweds then place 2 white plates with areca nuts and buyo leaves on them under the sloping roof of their house for Tigwama, the guardian of the home. The officiating priest or priestess is given gifts called ikot, usually consisting of weapons, textiles, and other objects of value. So the dato can have as many wives as he can, but upon the recommendation and approval of the first wife. In marriage, age is not an issue for as long as arrangement and settlements are reached, agreed upon, and complied with both parties. Next is the death. When Bagubo is dying, the face and body are rubbed with fragrant leaves as the precaution against the blood spirit buso. Upon death, the body is left on its sick bed and covered with hemp or cotton textile. A damag or death watch is assigned to watch the body for 2 days before the burial. The Bagubo used to practice both coffin burial. The lid of the coffin of the fallen datu was carved into a crocodile's head to ward off evil spirits. Ordinary coffins were decorated with strips of red and white cloth arranged into diamonds and zigzags that portrayed a symbolic representation of a buhaya or the crocodile. Other Bagobo communities bury their dead in coffins carved out of a section of a tree trunk, or among more acculturated coastal communities built in a fashion of foreign coffins. It is customary for relatives of the deceased to wail at the closing of the coffin as the elderly woman in the family exhorts the spirits of the dead until the coffin is nailed shut. Boiled rice wrapped in banana leaves is placed in the bag that will also be buried with the dead for him to carry in the afterlife. While Catholic influences have caused some Bagubo communities to build graveyards, the customary location for burials was traditionally directly beneath the house of the family of the dead. Another burial practice recorded among Bagubo communities is leaving the dead in the house and building a new one for the family of the deceased. The family may choose to build the new house near the old one to protect the body from the buso, or simply to stay near a loved one who has passed away. Next is their food delicacies. So, Maaturo Native Restaurant. Maaturo is nestled in Purok Rose, Baguio proper, Baguio District, just a few kilometers from two of Davao's prime tourist destination, the Malagos Garden Resort and the Philippine Eagle. The word Maaturo is Bagubo Klata word which means mga unta or let's eat center. Lolot is one of the specialty dishes of the Bagobos is lolot or cooking food using bamboo. The meat of choice, grated mature coconut palm, lemongrass, and seasonings are mixed and stuffed into a bamboo tube and put over a fire. Maaturo offers quite a range of lolot or chicken, lolot ng manok, shrimp, lolot ng nono, fish, lolot ng isda, among others. For the night, we have the lolot ng monok. Next is the pancit to iyog. Pancit to iyog is perfect for the carb-conscious pancit lovers. It is a version of the quite essential Filipino noodles dish which uses young coconut flesh strips instead of the usual starch-based noodles. Here, you can indulge in your favorite pancit sans dagil. Next is plitit to pandan. Plitik to pandan, or the chicken wrapped in pandan leaves, was not available during our visit, said by Tar, or the Bagubo citizen. Tar suggested that we Filipino try the pungango, or the group pork mashed with other ingredients and wrapped in pandan leaves. I surmise it is a fine ground because it has a gelatinous texture. It is, according to Tar, the Bagubo citizen. Next is pasnimor. Pasnimor, or stir-fried shrimp with huge chunks of corn, is also a regale. It is savory, a bit sweet and peppery, nonetheless delightful and sinful. Then there's the ginataan ngumonok, or the classic chicken and coconut milk dish with a twist. It was made mildly pungent with the flavors of pepper, red onions, and ginger. Next is the Bagubo tribal clothing and attire. The Bagubo traditional garb is called umpak, or the dress, which is the most ornate and artistic. The woman's two-panel sonod, or the tube skirt, have many stripes or other ikat designs such as alternating narrows and wide patterns on an all-red base called linumbus. A special and unique inabal, because of its type of weave, is the duwa talian. Its pattern is not achieved through the tie-dye process, but through a highly intricate wheel weave. Hence, it is called binubod ta kamayway, or tied to a frame. It is accomplished only by the most technically skilled weaver. A woman's most treasured possession is the ginayan, or panapisan, a tube skirt and with three panels called ini or ina, or mother panels. These are dyed using the snake techniques, in which a panel is dyed twice, one after the other, to create patterns from the two Bagubo colors, red and black. Ornamentation is provided by the women who add embroidery, beadwork, and applique to the cloth. The Spaniards once marveled at them and called them the most handsomely dressed natives. However, traditional cloth and jewelry are now worn only during the village feasts and religious ceremonies. The contemporary or ordinary attire of the women consists of the sunod and the umpak kabayi or blouse, which can either be of simple cotton cloth or the ceremonial ikat patterned abaka. The ordinary cotton skirt has a floral pattern and earthen tones like russet, orange, or burnt sienna, or with paisley and checkered pleats. It is secured with an elaborately beaded belt or a strip of cloth. Their blouse was a close neckline with antique shell disc and fine beads and display very fine needlework. It has short bell sleeves and simple lace edging around the neck, arms, and waist. The blouse is short enough to show the abdomen, which may carry elaborate tattoo design. The Bagubo traditional garb is called umpak or dress, which is the most ornate and artistic. So here are the male clothing. The Bagubo men's hats, Bagubo male shirt made of abaka, Bagubo male head scarf made of abaka, and Bagubo male knee-length pants made of abaka also. So the woman's two-panel sonod tube skirt may have stripes or other ikat design, such as alternating narrow and wide patterns on all red base called linumbus. A special and unique inabal, because of its type of weave, is the duwa talian. Its pattern is not achieved through the tie-dye process but through a highly intricate wheel weave. Hence, it is called binubod, the kamayway or the tied frame. Next is we tackle about the music of Bagubo. Music is an essential component of Bagubo religious and festive occasions and daily activities. The gong, a symbol, is called tagunggungan or tangugo. A 1907 document mentions an ensemble consisting of 11 suspended agong of various types. Matio or gongs 1 to 4, Taraban, the gong 5, Mabagong, gong 6 and 8, Marubor, gong 7, Luwagungan, gongs 9 and 11, and Bandiran, the gong 10. These gongs are played by 4 people, 1 player for gong 1 to 8, and the player for each of the other gongs. So, here are the Bagubo musicians. Other musical instruments that are played with songs and dances are the kuglong or the 2-string lute, and sauray or the tube zither, the kubing or the bamboo mouth harp, lantoy or the ring flute, and palindag or the leaf valley flute are used for courtship. 2 instruments related to agriculture are the bulang-bulang and the richly decorated pagakpak. The bulang-bulang is the mortar with the board cover that is stuck with a stick or pisel to accompany the dance during harvest rituals and feasts. The pagakpak is attached to the todak. When struck together, the split bamboo on the end produces a sharp but pleasant rattling sound. The decor and sound are meant to please the gods so that they will reward the people with bountiful harvest. The pagakpak also drives the maya, or the sparrows, away and fills the air with lively noise as the farmers work the soil. Next, let's go to the dances. Dances are interwoven into Bagubo traditional activities. There are dances in the home of the bride in evening and second morning after the panalugan or pamalugo, the purification of the bride and groom. During the garuza, the worship, where Bagubo Moors dictate that the dance be initiated only by the magani, the men dance intermittently to the sound of the gindaya during the genem. The following Bagubo dances are prescribed in the existing literature or in the repertoire of dance companies. First is the Karamay Fu Kawayan. Is performed by a man who depicts the movement of bamboo trees in the wind. The balite imitates the movement of the balite leaves as the wind rushes through the branches of the tree. Next is the Kulasog Kenek Kayo Mimex, a squirrel running up and down a tree. Next is Lawin-Lawin, which imitates the lawin or the eagle, traces the metamorphosis of the eagle from the vulnerable chick to the adult whose strength is gained from the battles with its every adversary, the mountain winds. Next is the Bulaway, or it dramatizes fear. Another dance is the Sugod Uno. Sugod Uno is a dance performed by the Magani in the annual cleansing ceremony of the Genem festival. This ceremony begins with the Pamalugo ritual in which the Magani shed off all jackets and trousers while bathing in the secluded stream in the forest. The old cloth will have absorbed misfortune, bad luck, diseases, and failure are allowed to float away on the river. The Magani are then helped by the women. The Magani are then helped the Magani are then helped by the women folk into their new heavily embroidered jackets. The music is played on the tagungo and the kodyapi or the native guitar. Palagis describes the eagle. Palagis describes the agile maneuverings of the Bagubo warrior as they close in and inflict multiple wounds with their spear and kampilan on the human sacrifice for the Jin-M festival. Next dance is the Sulangide. Sulangide is a dance honoring a Bagubo god. Ogchub pays homage to the god brother who resides in one of the 9 heavens above the sky. Tangongo is an improvisational festival dance featuring a man being courted by several women, one of whom is eventually chosen by a man. Tudak exhibits the different stages in Bagubo rice production, from the clearing of the field to the boring of holes in the ground with the tudak, the planting of rice in the holes, and the harvesting, threshing, winnowing, and pounding on the rice. Next is the Festival of Bagubo. So the Kadayawan Festival in Davao City also celebrates by the Bagubo people, and they also have fun during the Kadayawan Festival. Thank you.